Hello, everyone, and welcome to Carnage Candy. I am Greyson, and this is Shaun. And today we are going to be talking about another one of my favorite slashers, My Bloody Valentine from 1981.
This is one of your favorite slashers.
It is because of when I saw it.
Okay.
So I saw this movie at a very young age whenever I was really getting into slasher films. I watched this to put it in the context. I watched this right after I watched Jason Takes Manhattan.
Okay.
So if you compare this film to Jason Takes Manhattan, this is like Gone with the Wind of slasher films compared to that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So as a kid watching this, it was definitely a horror movie that I felt like, oh, I do not need to be watching this movie. This is way too adult for me.
Yeah.
Because it's very like over sexualized and everything. But the minor also terrified me as well. So that's another reason why I think that it stuck with me as hard as it has. But I don't know what your past is with this. Was this your first time watching it, Shaun?
I'd watched this for the first time. I'd seen the remake in 2009, which we'll be talking about shortly here on the next episode of Carnage Candy. But I watched this for the first time just this morning. And I watched 2009 first because I wanted the killer to be a surprise because I couldn't remember exactly how it went down.
Yeah.
And I was absolutely shocked by this movie top to bottom, especially the beginning. It's very, very strange.
It is. My Bloody Valentine is a very odd movie. There's not much in this film that really makes much sense because I feel like they really miss out in this movie by not digging into Harry Warden more in this movie. I feel like he's kind of there as like, you know, kind of like a person that should be talked about, but he is the town's boogeyman. But I was really hoping that going back and rewatching this, that it was just me forgetting about it. But I was hoping that Harry Warden would be a bigger character than he actually is, because you find out at the end that it's not Harry Warden, of course. It's just somebody else.
So but this is made by George Mihalka. He made La Florida, Eternal Evil. He's directed 50 things. Good Lord.
Yeah. A bunch of low budget type stuff.
Yeah. And so
honestly, this is his most popular film.
For sure. Yeah. I did not recognize any famous people. I'm sure they went on to do some stuff.
Yeah, I think you might know Keith Knight, who plays Hollis, the heavier set guy.
Okay.
He was in Meatballs. He plays the guy that eats all the hot dogs.
Okay. Yeah.
He's also in Class of 1984, which is a gnarly film.
Also, for a larger dude, he's got an amazing looking girlfriend. He must have an awesome personality. I was proud of him.
Well, he's a good character in the film. He's the one that makes you feel the worst whenever, you know, he has happened what he has happened to him.
Yeah.
But My Bloody Valentine 81 is kind of like a whodunit killing type of thing. It is about a town who is haunted about a killing that happened 20 years ago. Somebody named Harry Warden went on a killing rampage, and it is pretty much been on the town's mind ever since. He got sent off to a institution, and they hope every year that it won't come back to haunt them again.
Well, what happens is Harry gets buried in the mine, cannibalizes the other 4 men that he's buried with. And the reason he's left in the mine is because the town is at a Valentine's Day dance.
Yes.
And so he gets pissed off, and then he kills a couple of people, and then puts their hearts on display at the Valentine's Day dance. And then says, you better not have another Valentine's Day dance or I'm going to do this again. And then the town is like really conflicted and then decides to do another Valentine's Day dance because they just have to have one. This town is stupid.
It's what you do in the 80s, Shaun.
That's
what it was all about. Like, they are pretty stupid.
If you have another Valentine's dance, I'm going to murder people. And they're
like, he doesn't mean it.
He meant it because they have another Valentine's Day dance and then the killer comes to town and starts cutting people.
Not in the movie I watched. It ended right after that. They said there's not going to be a dance, and they ended it, and then it was credits.
When you're a kid and you're watching My Bloody Valentine, and a minute into the movie, this girl these two miners are in the mine in full mining gear, and then one of them takes their clothes off, and it's a smoking hot blonde in full face with a heart tattooed on her titty, and then she starts caressing the miner's mask nozzle like it's a phallic object. What were you feeling as a kid?
Very very confused on what was going on with my body, to be honest with you, because I didn't really understand what was happening, because I probably watched this when I was 8, 9, maybe somewhere in there. So yeah, I didn't have a clue what was going on. And the weird, I don't know if you you picked up on this, but the weird no that he says to her whenever she tries to take the mask off.
Yeah.
Like that is stuck in my head. Yeah, it's just the no. It's so odd, but yeah, then you have a pretty good death scene right there too of the pickaxe coming through the heart tattoo, which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Did you watch the unedited version or did you watch the theatrical version?
I couldn't tell you. I mean,
whenever that kill happened, did you see the pickaxe go through the skin, or did it just?
It was like a skin bulge.
Okay, yeah. So the unedited version, it actually shows the pickaxe pop through.
Grody.
So you watched the theatrical version.
It was very strange for me watching this because it's got that 70s 80s grit that just makes the whole film dirty. This is such a weird thing in the 70s and 80s, but like every male character is like a piece of shit.
Like, they are.
I wouldn't be caught dead hanging out with any of these characters
except for Hollis.
Yeah, Hollis is fine.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Hollis is a good guy. But you have Axel and TJ, who are rivals. TJ is Sarah's ex-boyfriend. Axel is her current boyfriend. Axel is a hot blonde guy. TJ is the weirdest. That I've never seen a non-leading man. I've never seen a more non-leading man take the leading man role.
Yeah, he's just kind of there. Like every scene he's in, you could tell like, oh, this is probably his first role that he had.
Yeah, and he has no screen presence, and he's kind of wimpy, and I don't know. Like Axel's like so cool and blonde and tall, and then TJ's got he's got that weird ascot, I
was gonna bring that up at the end whenever he shows up with the jacket and the blue ascot on his neck, and he still has it on at the end of the movie too.
But yeah, so this framework is very strange because it's just like we're gonna have the dance, and then people start getting killed, so they cancel the dance, and then they go party in the mines instead.
Yep. And then the killer ends up telling the chief, like, you didn't stop the party. And I love the delivery of the chief whenever he gets that Valentine at the end of the movie, to where it says, like, you didn't stop the party. And he's like, what party? Like, he's so confused. I stopped at what party? Because this chief, I don't know if you picked up on this, this chief no-sells everything in this damn movie.
There's a scene where there's a scene specifically that I want to say where he opens the first heart Valentine, and
in the truck.
Yes, he opens a human heart, and he sells it like the big gal in Deuce Bigelow. Oh shit.
Yeah, Shaun, or not Shaun, but Tiff said that he sold it like you sell getting pickles on a hamburger when you didn't want it.
Exactly. That is so true.
It is every single time he finds a body or something like that, it's the same reaction though.
Yeah. It's just like, what is he doing? I guess he doesn't care, because there's a part of me that's like, he's the killer. That's like how the killer would sell it if he sent the Valentine to himself.
For sure.
Oh shit. It's a heart in a box.
Oh no, I can't believe this is happening again.
We have everybody go into the mine to have their own party, and then like it's just like they're just kind of wandering around, and then it's like, oh, we're all dying. It's like I think I might have used the restroom. Did they get shut into the mine?
Well, they go down exploring into the mine, and they go to the abandoned part.
Yes.
And they start getting picked off, and then the killer disabled the elevator.
That's right. Okay. I think I got up when they disabled the elevator, because I was sitting there just thinking, like, just leave. Like, get out of it. Like, what are y'all doing? Um, but yeah, so they're kind of finding their way out. We have Hollis's girlfriend, Patty, and then Sarah, our final girls, with TJ, Axel, and then Howard is kind of like the clown of the movie.
Yeah.
But he's really just kind of gross and like,
Yeah. He's annoying.
yeah, and his teeth are like super yellow and
Hmm.
full of fillings. And I'm just like, I feel like when they're wandering around, the kills lack tension. There's a scene with a ladder, right?
Uh-huh.
Which does have an okay kill, where
Oh, it has an awesome one. Yeah.
they're trying to climb out of the mine on a very tall ladder, and Patty
Hmm.
starts freaking out. Right? She's just scared of heights, and she's kind of buckling under the pressure, and she's kind of whiny. Sarah is super badass. Like, she's hardcore. I love her look at the end. Her hair's all sweaty, and she's got blood and dirt all over
Yeah.
her. But like, so there is a cool kill with Howard where he's hung and then his head falls off, and then you get a really good dummy fall
Hmm.
coming down this ladder shaft. And Chelsea laughed out loud. She thought it was really funny.
It's a really effective kill. Whenever you watched it, did you see the head come off, or did you just see the body fall?
We saw the head, we saw the rope snap, and then
Okay.
we did not see the head separate, but we know the head separated because when the body
Yeah.
hits the ground, it's
It's
headless.
headless.
And
Yeah.
it
In
just
the unrated
hits.
version, it shows it.
It shows the head pop off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I wish I would have watched that one, but it just felt like, I don't know if it's like, these kills were probably very super grandiose in 81, right?
Well, this film was also butchered by the MPAA.
Okay.
So it was a lot gorier whenever it was first coming out, but it was deemed too violent, so they had to edit a lot of the gore out.
Okay. Would this, do you know, can you speak any more to that? That's very interesting to me.
Like what?
Like, was it like a big deal? Did people protest this and stuff?
I don't think they protested it. I just think that it was during the 80s to where they were getting a lot more strict on gore. So whenever Paramount sent this to go get edited and everything, they took out a lot of kills and stuff like that. Well, not a lot of kills, but they edited down a lot.
Yeah,
Like
especially
the old man, the old man that sets up the prank of the miner who is like swinging his pickaxe up and down. Whenever he dies in the director's cut or the unrated cut or whatever you want to say, he gets hit in the face and it pops his eyeball out with a pickaxe. And you see it, and then they drag him away with a pickaxe.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's far better than what I got.
Yes.
But these kind of last kills, like especially with like Patty just gets hit in the stomach with a pickaxe out of nowhere and dies. It's so sad.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Until Dawn with Homegirl gets her head chopped off. I was just like, oh, Patty, like what happened?
Yeah, I really thought that Patty was gonna make it through, but no, she gets taken care of pretty quickly.
Axel gets separated from the group. TJ and Sarah kind of continue on, and guess what? They're attacked by the miner, and then it's like, cool, it's Axel. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we get a really goofy ass fight at the end between TJ and the miner. It's very early 80s.
Yeah, it is. And I could see seeing this in 81, it was probably awesome. Yeah. Because you're down in a mine, you got a pickaxe and a shovel being swung at each other. Like, it was probably really cool in 81, but by today's standards, it is very dorky.
Yeah. Sarah and TJ eventually manage to scrap and unmask the miner, and it is Axel underneath. And we get this flashback that kind of like, it was really hard watching this after 09.
Yeah,
it was like, and it turns out that Axel's dad was one of the victims of the original Warden attack, and he was hiding under his bed, and that's it. That's the information. And we're just like, oh, okay, Axel went crazy now that it's years later. And now he's killing everybody.
Well, the thing that makes me mad is the mayor just completely doesn't tell anybody about knowing about that either.
Oh
Because at
yeah,
the end
that
of the
is
film,
true.
the mayor goes, "Well, you know, Axel's father was killed by Harry whenever he was younger, and he was there. Why didn't you bring this up 2 hours ago?
Yeah, would have been that would have
Where
been
where
great to
was this
know.
at?" Yeah, we could have ended this case a couple of days beforehand, but okay.
Yeah. Who would be the killer? I have no idea. There's nobody that would snap after their
Nope,
dad getting killed.
no way.
I actually like the ending to this one. We get Axel becomes trapped and
Yep.
ensnared in the rubble, and instead of just running away, when Sarah hears that Axel's in the rubble, she wants to see him and confirm
Mhm.
that he's like taken care of. And he has yoinked his own arm off,
Yeah, he has.
and he is running down with his shredded, handless arm, telling Sarah, "Won't you be my bloody Valentine?" And he
Yeah, it's
slinks. It
creepy.
is, and he slinks off into the
Uh-huh.
darkness. And I was like, that is such a good. You better run to your car when you get out of the
Yep.
theaters. Ending, and then you just feel bad for Sarah because now she has to stay with TJ.
And she's gonna be traumatized by every event that happened because all of her friends are dead.
Yeah, God's honest truth.
Yeah.
That is true. But yeah, I thought the ending was good.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at it because you
Mm.
do get the killer is defeated, right?
Mhm.
But ultimately will live to see another day.
Yep.
Instantly looked up if there was a sequel to this.
And there's not.
No.
Which is a surprise for both of them, and like we said, we'll be talking about the remake in the next video. But it is kind of amazing that this never got another one. I think there was speculation that there was gonna be a sequel, and then it got canned.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but it is kinda wild because there's so much more that they could have done with the storyline, and they just didn't. So
Yeah. Looking at some trivia for My Bloody Valentine, 1981, before we get off and give this
Mhm.
score. The filming location was in Nova Scotia. It
Yep.
was filled with closed pit mines, bootleg mines, and underground mines, which are shutting down due to economic issues. And that's where the filming took place. The mine was used as Hanniger Mine, called the Princess Colliery Mine in real life, has been dismantled, buried, and turned into a park and a museum.
Oh, that's cool. There's
Uh,
also, something else that's pretty cool about the mine. Whenever they were first, like, about to go and shoot there, the townspeople actually cleaned out the mine before they got there to shoot. So whenever they actually got there to shoot the first day, they realized, "Oh, wow, we have to dirty this up again," because they made this whole place spotless.
oh no. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
the
like
townspeople just cleaned it out, and
it
they
was
were
like
just
too
super.
artificial.
Yep. Yep. It was
According to
pretty.
makeup effects artist Thomas R. Berman, let's see what Thomas R. Berman did. Um, he worked on Grey's Anatomy,
Oh,
Nip
wow.
Tuck, Harsh Times. Let's look at my goodness gracious. He has an extensive filmography. CSI, Wayne's World, Dead Again, Die Hard 2. Oh man,
Howard the Duck.
he had a prolific career. Planet
Yeah,
of
he did.
the Apes. He was an assistant makeup artist and credited. He said that his makeup effects made the director throw up.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
It was probably the eye scene because that scene is pretty gnarly for 81.
Yeah. Um, the film was it was actually in 900 feet underground. Only lighting
Mhm.
devices could be used in the mines because of the potential danger of methane explosions.
Yep.
That's crazy.
The fact that they were actually under there, because I watched an interview to where they were talking to the director, and he talked about how the deeper down they went, the hotter it got,
I
and you would
could
not believe the heat.
I could not imagine.
There's no way I could do it. The fact that they were in an actual mine, it would. Mm-mm. I'd be too claustrophobic down there.
And finally, Grayson, this is Quentin Tarantino's favorite slasher film.
That makes sense. This feels like a Tarantino type of
Yeah.
slasher, honestly.
Man, if Tarantino made a slasher film, that'd be so crazy.
I know. Amazing dialogue.
But yeah, I I'm not a fan. I'd say it's like a 4 or a 5.
Mhm.
I would feel different if I watched this when I was younger. I can tell
Yeah,
you.
and I fully understand that. With me, it's like I said, I watched this right after I watched Jason Takes Manhattan, so it
Yeah.
terrified me, what stuck with me, which is why it is one of my favorite slashers. So for me, in even saying that, like I give it a 7. I know this movie has flaws, but
Yeah.
I still love it for what it is.
I feel like if you watch this when you were younger, the older you are, the better this film is probably to you, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I can respect it. Obviously, it was made under extreme like talent and resolve to
Mhm.
film in 900 feet mines in
Yeah.
crazy heat. Like, um, I will say that one of the things I love about 80s horror, this to me is why Halloween OG is as scary as it is just the way those cameras picked up blacks
Mhm.
is insane. Like the
Yep.
contrast of light is very off-putting in the film grain.
Yep.
Um it's the kind of horror movie that's like unless it's on filmed on that old stock with those old cameras, you can't really replicate how it feels.
Agreed.
And I think if I was a kid watching this, it would have freaked me out a lot. And
Yeah.
so um,
I remember whenever I saw the ending for the first time with him running away screaming and then laughing at everything, it stuck with me for weeks. Like
yeah,
I thought about it.
yeah. But you can watch My Bloody Valentine on Prime. It's a pretty good time. 1981. Watch it if you're interested. I think it's a good one for just the sake of history, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a good one to watch during, Valentine's Day, especially. Like put this on, pop some popcorn, just have a great time.
Yep.
Because you're going to.
If you want some more Valentine action, you can go watch our Valentine from 2001 review. It was a great time to talk about, and that is a 2000s classic. So go check that out.
Yeah, it is.
Also, go to patreon.com/hangtime to support content like this directly. It would mean the world to us if you gave us your hard-earned dollar to watch more horror content as we try to
Mhm.
build this channel up. Make sure and subscribe and like the video if you haven't yet, and you have a great day.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Greyson. Look at
Goodbye.
the camera. Look at the camera. Look at me.